Are you a thrill seeker? Are you addicted to adrenaline? Then chances are you probably like riding roller coasters. These amusement park staples are consistently growing and evolving like all technology, and nowadays come in all sorts of variations, ranging from rickety wooden ones to sleek polished steel rides. So today, lower your safety bar and hold on tight, because we're taking a ride on the 10 scariest roller coasters in the world. Scared of heights? Then Superman Escape from Krypton at Six Flags Magic Mountain is probably your worst nightmare. Superman is one of the fastest rides for its height, being about 400 feet tall and dropping at speeds of up to 100 miles per hour. The ride pulls 4 Gs, which is more than astronauts experience at takeoff. But the reason Superman is only number 10 in the countdown is its duration, lasting only about 30 seconds. Coming up, we'll see rides that are much more exhilarating and last for much longer. Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit at Universal Studios Orlando combines fun and terror into one convenient, brain-busting package. The ride is unique in that it allows you to pick your own music at the beginning and buy a video of your ride experience for $50. Kind of a rip-off, but, you know, theme parks. However, the terror of this ride is free with a park pass. The ride begins by climbing a huge hill at a near 90-degree angle, after which you are quickly thrown into a 90-degree drop and the world's only non-inverting loop, followed by some other twists and turns. Oh, and the only thing keeping you from falling out onto the concrete below is a measly lap bar. Have fun. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to fly like a bird? Well, Tatsu, yet another ride found in Six Flags Magic Mountain, can provide you with that terrifying experience. Tatsu is the world's longest flying roller coaster, stretching out over half a mile. Included with this horrible experience are some fun little loops and drops to discombobulate you, as well as being faced toward the ground on the majority of the ride, making it kind of hard not to look down. Side note, a couple of friends tried to get me on this ride on the trip that I took a couple of months ago, but I politely declined, because I'm sane. Mad Mouse in Tokyo, Japan is a long ride lasting about 3 minutes, but it doesn't sacrifice quality for quantity. This ride consists of 10 loops, the most of any roller coaster on the planet, and offers a nice, albeit brief, view of Mount Fuji before plummeting toward what will surely be your death. Well, maybe not your death, but it'll be scary, don't you worry. SheiKra in Busch Gardens, Tampa is named after a horrible bird-like monster of African mythology, so naturally it follows that it's a horrible ride. It features the world's tallest 90-degree drop at over 150 feet, immediately throwing riders into a tall loop and then splashes down into the water. The ride also winds through caves that will surely take your head off, and it's floorless, meaning that riders' feet are left dangling. I'm not gonna do this one, it's pretty scary. The thrills of the Dragon Challenge at Islands of Adventure, Florida come half from the drops and loops and half from the impending doom of crashing into another car. Dragon Challenge is the world's only dueling suspension-style roller coaster. For those of you who don't speak adrenaline junkie, it has 2 separate tracks and the cars run underneath them. Anyways, the ride is calibrated so that you surely think your car will crash into one of the other cars on the track, and such a collision will surely derail your car and then you'll die. Don't die, don't ride Dragon Challenge. Come on, people. Be a little sensible. Oh yeah, now we're getting into the good stuff. Green Lantern First Flight is quite a bizarre ride at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Good God, those guys really know how to please. Or I guess displease. On the surface, the track looks very unusual. Not at all like a traditional roller coaster. But that's because this isn't a traditional roller coaster. Instead, masochistic riders are loaded into either side of a car. Then the seats rotate as the car goes along a very windy track. This ride will surely leave passengers discombobulated by the end thanks to all the spinning. Although, I suppose this one looks a bit more fun than terrifying. Which is why Green Lantern is only number 4 in the countdown. Alright, let's be real. Who here wasn't expecting X2 to make this list? As I'm sure y'all have figured out, I'm not the hugest roller coaster fan myself, but even I know of the notorious, brilliantly engineered roller coaster that is X2. X2 is located at, you guessed it, Six Flags Magic Mountain, and is the world's first 4D roller coaster. I think 4D refers to the loose attachment of the chairs onto a central arm, allowing for more movement than most roller coasters, but I'm pretty sure that's still 3D. Regardless, X2 is a ride that will rattle even the bravest coaster veterans. This ride's 4D experience includes random twists and turns as well as headfirst drops. Backwards headfirst drops. And if that wasn't enough, X2 also employs the senses of hearing and touch and even involves a close encounter of the fiery kind. That should be enough to deter any sane person, but the ride still remains one of the most popular in the park, even 15 years after its opening. In September 2004, Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey announced its plans to break the record for the tallest, fastest roller coaster on the planet. 7 months later, Kingda Ka was born. This ride is over 450 feet tall and goes from 0 to 128 miles per hour in under 4 seconds. After climbing that huge hill, the ride spirals down. Then there's a quick 150-foot hill, which is kind of pitiful in comparison to that first one. Kingda Ka is riddled with safety precautions. For starters, anyone over 77 inches is not allowed to ride, as their necks can get snapped from the force of the big drop. Secondly, the ride has been designed in case it fails to make the top of the first hill. Yes, this actually happens. It's designed with brakes that set in before the train hits the station. But despite all this, Kingda Ka is only the second most terrifying roller coaster on Earth. Before I announce the number 1 most terrifying roller coaster, let's recap what we've already seen. Kingda Ka and X2 had tracks that measured over half a mile long. So obviously, the scariest roller coaster on the planet would have to be more than 70 feet, right? Not necessarily. XScream is probably the world's shortest roller coaster, but don't be fooled. It's definitely the scariest. The ride consists of a short beam with a car. The beam makes a seesaw motion, moving the car to the edge as it brakes just soon enough so that it doesn't go over the edge. That in itself doesn't sound too scary, until you find out that the ride is atop the Stratosphere Hotel in Las Vegas. This hotel is one of the tallest buildings in America, measuring just over 1,000 feet tall, twice as much as Kingda Ka. Riding costs $4 a pop. Yes, people actually pay to have this done to them. The ride extends 27 feet off the side of the hotel, leaving riders dangling over the edge with nothing to look at but the Las Vegas Strip 900 feet below them. Which is why there can be no doubt that XScream is the scariest roller coaster in the world.